Men don't talk, or do they? Maybe they do, but not just with you. Hello, beautiful people! Welcome to an amazing episode, a special episode of the Journey Called Love podcast. And of course, it's still Damila Daisy. I know it's been a minute, or maybe some minutes, but I'm here now. Yeah, I'm here, and I'm very glad that you're here as well. I hope you've been fine. Right, so today we want to talk about a very special thing. You know, I promise I posted on my WhatsApp status some weeks ago that I was learning how that I'm learning that men don't exactly talk, and how I'm also learning to get them to talk. And see, this is not even a how do I put this now? This is not an agenda, or this is not a anti-man thing or something or whatever. I'm just putting this out there to help as many that are sincerely needs this, because I believe that for so many people, or for some people in relationships, they really need, their man. So talk to them. And when I say men don't talk, I do not mean that they are dumb or that they are unexpressive per se. I just mean that they, because okay, I feel like there are like two sides to this. First, they do not converse, like simple conversations. They're not talking to you. Or second, they're not communicating. They're not communicating their fears. They're not communicating their worries. Most times, men actually converse. They engage in conversation. In fact, they make great conversations. Like, you talk for 30 minutes and you wonder what you're talking about. Yeah, that's right. But sometimes those men that are great in conversations are not exactly great with communicating, especially when it has to do with, their worries or issues or problems. Most times they tell you or they gist you about it when they've like been through it and they're fine now. Exactly. So I just want to explain, this episode is actually, because the topic is actually a very broad one, and like I said, I'm still learning. So but I want to like give you the tips I found out as to why do men not talk, or why don't they talk. I have realized that there are so many reasons why men don't talk. And when I say talk in this, when I mention talk, just know that I'm either talking about conversation or communication. I'll try as much as possible to differentiate. First, right? Societal beliefs. One thing that you should understand, or one thing that we all know, is that we live in a society where men are trained, they're raised not to express themselves. Even though I'm an advocate, I'm a trained boy advocate, and I'm an advocate of raising the boy child better. Let him talk, let him be expressive. It's very important, because that's why we are dealing with so many men these days, that they either do not express themselves, or they express themselves in an unhealthy way, whether they either beat up their spouse or their partner, or get drunk and all of that. But if they're able to express themselves in the right way, in a healthy way, so many issues will just be avoided. So first, we live in a society where men are not allowed to express themselves. Not like they're not allowed, they are not encouraged to express himself. He grows up talking, and his mom is like, you talk too much, right? Acting like a girl. And aside that, I feel like another aspect of societal belief is also that we have so many men that have experienced bitterness, while when they got to talk, like they talked, and instead of getting the comfort and the help they need, they got embarrassed and disrespected. So they'd rather just not talk, right? They'd rather just keep to themselves. What's the point? What did I get from it when I tried this last time? It doesn't work, especially when this talking has to do with talking to a woman. Yeah, my gender, I get. But right, that's one reason. Number two, I have that he probably knows that the woman is not listening. So something about communication, and this is not gender based, this particular point, something about communication is that if you do not listen to my gist, you probably will not get to hear my issues. right? Like communication is progressive. You start from the very funny or irrelevant things and then move to the very important ones. That's how it is. Only if it's an issue that maybe already has consequences that are now like all up in your face. If it's not something like that, you won't, or you should not expect that I come to you and the first thing I'm saying is, oh, can you believe that I had this and this and that. Now it probably won't happen that way. But when you start from conversation, like just normal regular talks, somehow it eases the function into, or it eases the whole process, and then is able to tell you about what's up with him. I'm saying that if you do not learn to listen to him when he's just saying the seemingly irrelevant things to you, you won't get him to talk about the serious ones. Is how the Bible says that somebody that is not faithful in like something like money cannot be faithful in like spiritual things. That's just me paraphrasing, but yeah. So if you're not loyal, if you do not listen to conversations that does not have to do that are not so serious, you probably will not get the gist, or it will definitely not, bring serious conversations to you, because that's just what it is, all right? No serious explanation to that. But if you do not listen on days when he is just talking without you asking, when you now ask, it just won't go, right? So, and then he knows that you're not paying attention. That's another reason why he's also not talking to you. He knows that on other days when he has spoken to you about some other issues, maybe even serious issues, you were not really paying attention. Maybe he told you something about his parents or something about his siblings, and you cannot even remember. Trust me, he won't bring any other issue similar like to you. All right. Number 3 is that in conversation you overwhelm him by talking faster. Studies or research shows us that men actually process things like slower. They're not as fast as the female gender is, right? No, I'm not saying they are slow thinkers or they are slow, please. I'm just saying that like processing and then talking, the way they do it, they think before they talk. And females, we kind of like think while talking or something like that. So you're in a conversation with a guy, for example, and you're not allowing him like go through that process of thinking before he talks. You're putting all of the words out there, At the end of the day, he just gets really overwhelmed with all of the information you're putting out there. He cannot really process them all at the same time, and so he's like, okay, just talk, I'm listening. It just goes, go on, or he just keeps nodding and, right, I'm listening, just go on. And that's what you get. At the end of the day, you really would not hear him say anything, right? So he just lets you talk since you do talking better, right? That's number 3. Number 4 is that you disrespect him. See, trust me, nobody, this one is not even a man or woman thing, nobody would bring their issues to somebody that constantly disrespects, disregard, and belittles them. Nobody, especially not a man. Right? So if you continuously, or not even continue, you don't even have to be continuous. If you disrespect him when he brings issues to you, and disrespect in this regard can mean anything. It can mean interrupting, it can mean shouting him down, it can mean cutting him off. It can mean anything really, depending on the kind of person that he is. So if you notice, or if he sense any kind of disrespect in the way you address the issues he brings to you, he won't bring any more to you. All right, I want to run. He feels pressured. This is more specifically about having a serious conversation, right? And you are throwing all of the question, what happened, why are you like this, talk to me, why are you not talking? There's just so much that he can deal with. When he feels pressured, he won't talk. And then when he also feels like whatever he says will be used against him, he won't talk. If this is in the scenario of an argument, if there is an argument and he feels like if he says anything, he will probably hold it off on his edge. This is something I've experienced personally. If he says anything, you hold it up against him, or you just pick whatever he says up and then you start another fresh batch of arguments. He won't talk. He really just won't, because see, men are really peace loving people. They don't have strength for all of those stress, to be very honest. So if you understand this, you understand how to like listen and get them to talk at the right time, and then you're just really good. All right, so number 5. Oh, sorry, that's number 5. So number 6 would be that he feels that you won't understand. No matter how he tries to say it, he feels that you won't understand. He feels that there's no how he can like explain the issue that you'll get it. And then another side is that he also feels that you really don't have the solution, and you don't have the solution, so why should I share it with you? You cannot help me, so why bother? Like, especially if it's a very serious matter that he's even still trying to figure out himself. If he thinks that your level of understanding will not like grasp it, or that you don't have a solution aside from this, well, oh, hey, yeah, sorry, oh. There's really no point. There's really no point. Another side to it is that he's scared of your reaction. He's not sure what to expect, and this is like something that he has noticed over time. All right, I mean, he's scared you probably will get all dramatic and say, are you serious? Wow, you did this, no. And I mean, this is especially, and that this is why men talk about issues when it's already over, because even if you go all dramatic, I mean, you can always come down with, but I mean, we're here now, it's over, right? So if you go all dramatic when he's trying to share it with you, when he has actually not gotten a hang of it, that just makes him feel like, oh, okay, you know what, that's it. Right? So you get that. Okay, so another one is he's thinking of what to say and how best to say it. See, men, they need time to think. Like I said, especially if it's an issue that he does not even know how to go about it yet, you need to give him time to actually think. So go to that conversation with a statement like, okay, I know that something is bothering you. It's okay if you don't talk about it right now. I just don't want you to be bothered, like to be like this state. So I mean, take your time, think it through, and I'm here if you need to talk or if you need my help. I feel like that's even very more reassuring, and trust me, that will get him to talk when he's done, like when he's ready to talk. And that would even help his thinking process, because I mean, he knows that somewhere he has someone that has got him. That's reassuring. It really is, and that's really the whole essence of being in a relationship. Because why not? Why will I be in a relationship and I do not feel comforted in my time of trouble? Like, you should be able to at least still have that reassurance even when he's not sharing, right? Then another point I have is that he's working out a solution. If he's trying to work out a solution, he might not talk about it in that moment. He might want to wait for him to like get it all fixed before he talks about it, even though this might have like repercussions and consequences, especially on your relationship and your communication, and this might actually like cause the kind of drifting apart for you in your relationship. And of course, there has to be a balance to this for the guys, but this is also another reason why he might not be talking when you want him to talk, right? Then this last one is really great. It's serious. He might not be into you. See, there's nothing you want to do to convince a guy that doesn't like you to talk about himself. I mean, he could share stories, he could have a great sense of humor and make you laugh, but talk about his issues with you, open up and be vulnerable when he doesn't like you. That's that's hard anyways. That's almost impossible. All right, so maybe that's another reason why he's not talking. So you are talking with a guy and he's giving you the one word response, or he's not so responsive, right? Just don't sweat it too much. It might just be because he's not really into you. And this is me saying, I'm saying it if like this is like a situation of you just met him and you're not in a relationship, because if you're in a relationship with somebody, this should not be your reason. Because if he's not into you, what is he doing in a relationship with you, right? All right, So I'm not saying these are so that you get all suspicious. Oh, or maybe he doesn't like me again. No, that's not what I'm saying. Calm down. This is like for random. Maybe you just met, or you just connected. You guys are just really just friends, and so there are levels to friendship, alright? So just are just friends. Don't expect that it would come all out the first few months of friendship. Guys are not really like that. Yeah, no, they're not really like that, especially because of the way they're raised, like I mentioned earlier, and the things they've experienced. They are really protective of their space, so understand that. All right, so this whole thing is not to make you look like, oh, the guys have a lot of issues, why should I be the one to now have all of these precautions in mind just because somebody doesn't want to? Well, if he doesn't want to talk, that's the problem. Let him just be. Calm down, auntie. All right, if this is for people that are in relationships, actually I'm not talking to people that are just trying to get every guy on the street to talk, because this won't work whether or not, right? So if you want to work things out in your relationship and you want communication to be better, you really need to be mindful of these things. I'll run through them again because I want us to really get them. First, societal belief: men are not raised to be expressive. Second, you don't listen when he talks. You don't listen when it's just gisting. You would not really talk when it's like a serious issue. So you're not paying attention. Your body language, your looks is not showing that you are with him. Third, in conversation, you overwhelm him by talking too much. You overwhelm him by taking up the talk space. Like you just really go, and then he just lets you talk since you talk better. Then you disrespect him, you belittle him, he just will leave you. He won't talk to you. Then if he feels pressured, if he feels that whatever he says will be used against him, he won't talk. He would not say it. If he feels that you won't understand, or that you don't have the solution, or that you get super dramatic, and if he fears your reaction, he won't talk. If he's thinking, sometimes he's thinking of what to say, they need time to think. He's thinking of a solution, so in that moment he would not talk. And then if he's not into you, he also would not talk. So these are the points that I have. I also want to do another episode on how then to get them to talk, because see, there is a how. One act is, or something I heard is that you have to be the mother to a boy to kind of get him to talk. Sometimes you have to get off the high horse and actually be the mother, like act the mother, right? I know that not all boys talk to their mother, but if you have that motherly characteristics, you can definitely get him to talk. Not like, and this is not a hack of, oh, I have him wrapped on I have him sorry, I have him wrapped around my thumb and I can do whatever. Nah, see, see, men are men, and they are like very, very, how do I put this now, decisive. They know what they want, they know when they want it, and they know what they want to do. You cannot, yeah, you can be manipulative, but you cannot exactly manipulate him. Try it and see if it works. But yeah, that's it. So thank you guys, thanks so much for listening. I hope that you enjoyed listening as much as I enjoy recording, and I trust that this blesses you. If it does, please do well to leave a nice comment, share this to people that you know would need it or that should listen to it. If you're a guy listening to this, you should definitely share this to your babe, and if you're a babe listening to this, share it with your other babes. All right, thank you so much for listening. Till I come your way again, which will be very soon, trust me. Please stay good and stay loved. Thank you so much for coming, my special edition. Bye guys.